Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the latest Genshin Impact updates, leaks, and banner breakdowns. Alright, because today, we seriously need to talk about Genshin Impact version 6.2, a patch that might just end up being one of the most stacked and exciting updates we've seen in years. Between Durin's long-awaited debut, Venti's rumored rework, and the potential return of classic Mondstadt units through a possible Chronicled Wish rerun, everything about this patch screams major turning point for both the story and the gameplay. So, let's start with the one thing that seems almost certain: Durin. Thanks to some recent client data spotted by Hexenzirkel in the 6.1 files, Durin is tagged as current, which is exactly what happens right before a new 5-star gets officially announced. Lore-wise, Durin is a Pyro sword user connected to the Hexenzirkel storyline, and his backstory ties directly into Albedo. He's essentially a dragon transformed into a human through alchemy, kind of like Albedo's opposite half, both being artificial life forms created through mysterious experiments. Gameplay-wise, though, Durin plays nothing like Albedo. He's described as a flexible Pyro support or off-field buffer with a dual-form mechanic that lets him switch between affirmation of whitening and negation of darkness. Depending on the form, his attacks and burst either summon the white flame or the black corrosion dragon. It's a choose-your-style system. You can either go all in on raw Pyro damage or play around reactions and team buffs. What makes Durin sound even more powerful are his passives. In his whitening form, triggering Pyro reactions like burning, overloaded, Pyro swirl, or crystallize reduces enemy Pyro and elemental resistance by around 20% for a short time. Meanwhile, in his darkness form, vaporize and melt damage get a 40% boost. Basically, he's built to enhance reaction-heavy teams and flex between direct Pyro amplification and supportive utility. That's why people online are calling him a modern-day Bennett and Xiangling hybrid, only this time designed to fit Genshin's newer combat systems. If these leaks hold true, Durin could easily become one of the strongest Pyro supports we've ever had, and the fact that he's debuting in a patch centered around Mondstadt and the Hexenzirkel makes perfect sense narratively. Now, for the banners. Most leakers and theory crafters agree that Durin will likely run alongside Varessa in the first half of 6.2. The reasoning is pretty solid. The upcoming Spiral Abyss rotation seems to match Varessa's reaction style, and she's been one of the most requested reruns for months. It's a pairing that makes sense both in terms of gameplay and timing. Then there's the really juicy part, Venti's rumored rework. According to multiple 6.2 beta data mines, Venti might be getting a serious overhaul. Again, nothing is confirmed yet, but the details match how Hoyoverse has been updating older characters lately. The big rumor is that he's getting a new passive called Magus, Secret Ritual, which increases nearby characters' damage by around 50% after triggering a swirl reaction while his burst is active, and also boosts Venti's own burst damage. On top of that, his burst might now cause his normal attacks to become Anemo-infused hurricane arrows, letting him keep dealing Anemo damage even after the burst ends. Some sources also mention Constellation buffs, things like giving the whole team a 25% Anemo damage bonus after using a skill or burst, and increasing his burst crit damage at higher constellations. If that's true, it could completely modernize Venti and make him a proper hybrid between crowd control and sustained DPS. It's kind of poetic too, since he's one of Genshin's original Archons who's slowly fallen behind in the meta. This rework could finally bring him back to the spotlight. Now, could Durin and Venti appear together? That's where opinions split. A lot of fans hope so, mainly because that weapon banner would be incredible. Durin's new sword alongside Venti's rumored new bow. But realistically, Hoyoverse rarely puts two brand new weapons in the same phase, so it's more likely to be Durin with Varessa first, then Venti with Xilonen in the second half. Xilonen's rerun might seem a little soon, but with her weapon Peak Patrol Song tying into the Mondstadt alchemy lore, it actually fits thematically. And here's where things get even more exciting: the possibility of a Mondstadt Chronicled Wish rerun. This one's still just speculation, but it makes a lot of sense. We haven't seen a Mondstadt-focused chronicled banner in almost 2 years, and this patch seems to be all about reviving classic Mondstadt lore. With Durin's story, Venti's rework, and event teasers mentioning Razor and Fischl, the timing feels perfect. A rerun featuring characters like Mona, Klee, and Albedo would not only fit the theme, but also give newer players a chance to pull for some of the region's iconic characters. It's the same strategy Hoyoverse used during the Lantern Rite in Liyue and the 3.x Inazuma patches, reconnecting older regions to new storylines. So, putting it all together, here's what the expected lineup looks like. Phase 1 should feature Durin and Varessa, with 4 stars like Yehoda, Chevreuse, and possibly Ian-san. Phase 2 will likely have Venti and Xilonen, supported by characters like Faruzan and other Mondstadt units. From both a lore and gameplay perspective, this patch looks like a perfect blend of nostalgia and innovation. Durin brings a new kind of Pyro support flexibility. Venti could finally return to meta relevance, and if that Mondstadt Chronicled rerun really happens, it would tie everything together beautifully. Overall, Genshin 6.2 feels like one of those special versions where everything connects: the lore, the gameplay, and the nostalgia. Whether you're saving for future characters like Columbina, Skirk, or even Varka, this patch might still tempt you to spend a few wishes just because it feels so meaningful. And that's pretty much everything we know so far. What about you? Are you planning to pull for Durin, or are you holding out for someone else? And do you think the Mondstadt Chronicled Wish rerun will actually happen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear what you think about all this. Thanks so much for watching. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future Genshin news. I'll be covering all the official reveals as soon as Hoyoverse confirms them. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.